What's up there? There we go. There we go. Let's start off the live stream. I'm Rob. I do a live stream every weekday. Hit subscribe. I'll bring you news, commentary, comedy, entertainment, sarcasm, satire. But let's start off today's live stream with a couple of apologies. Number one, to future generations, if Elon Musk gets his way and your heads are all microchipped, hopefully you have enough Bitcoin to watch some YouTube or whatever it's called in 2154. And hopefully if your brain chips allow you to have some free leisure time in between working 22 to 23 hours a day, and your mind chips had enough crypto coin to witness this, then I apologize. I apologize for what Earth looks like. I apologize for the failed Mars missions, or the Mars missions that got to Mars. They colonized it and everybody died because Mars is a rock that is nothing like Earth, and it sucks there. So I don't know, these people are just so rich, they're like, let's go to Mars. Nobody wants to go to Mars. So let's start off with apology to the children. My children, your children. If you don't have children, children you know, keep a distance away from them if you don't know. Apologies to the younger generations, let's put it like that. We tried, we didn't try hard enough. We could have saved Earth, and I feel horrible. So I'm sorry, younger generations. Earth was awesome. Cheetahs were magnificent. The elephants, they had trunks, and I mean, you might have read about them in books, but God, to see one up close. And at zoos, they used to let you ride them for a fee. Next, apologies to all the folks that I've been distanced from. Sometimes I get in my own head and I need to check out. So I love you. Sorry. All right. Bill Burr is a leftist. This was my one critique of Bill Burr. And I've been a Bill Burr fan longer than most kids have been alive. Okay? I was listening to Bill Burr's podcast before it was like a thing. I remember I worked in radio for a long time, and I remember we would have so many comics in. We have a comic in every Friday, and I would always ask comics like, yo, what's your podcast? And they'd be like, oh, I should do that. This was before everyone, I'm talking about, you know, the early, like the 2008, 2009, 2010. I think Bill Burr started his podcast 2010-ish. But I used to listen to it when I would jog. I would jog like 13 miles a day. And I love Bill Burr because he came out the gate, and he's a New England boy, Canton, Mass's own. By the way, this is my favorite drink in the world. I don't know what's wrong with me, but I love drinking apple cider. And if you put some lemon, ginger, and cayenne in it, when I lived in California, I would purchase this Suja, the cayenne, lemon cayenne Suja all the time. If you never had to try it. But Bill Burr always said it like it was. And then he started doing interviews like 5-7 years ago where they were applauding him for going after the left and the right and walking the, you know, being a fence rider. And my thoughts on being a fence rider is if you're going to ride the fence, you must have nothing in your nethers. Because to sit on a fence, that's got to hurt. It doesn't help anybody. And Bill Burr did that. And he would say, well, because there's wacky people on the left, the woke people on the left are wacky, so I make fun of them. And then the right is kind of kooky, so I make fun of them. And Bill Burr defended being neutral, just playing neutral ground, just sitting on the fence, which, what do you got, a vagine to be able to sit on the fence that don't hurt? I hate fence sitters. Form some kind of opinion. And Bill Burr, man, dude had opinions, so I was always shocked. He married a black woman, you know, he came from Boston. You got to have opinions if you hail from the great state of Massachusetts. Not always the right opinions, but you got to have opinions. And then we've seen recently Bill Burr, I don't think he took a change. I think he just embraced who he was. And he stopped letting that deter him from speaking his mind truly. And I know that sounds weird to say about Bill Burr, because a lot of people hail Bill Burr as like, he just says it how it is. He speaks his mind. But listen, I'm from Massachusetts. I could sniff these motherfuckers out, okay? Bill Burr wasn't speaking his mind. He was to an extent, but he wasn't saying everything, okay? And it was because, like Dave Grohl, we'll get to Dave Grohl in a minute, is because they don't want to not have people come to their shows. You know, their whole thing is based on audience engagement, the size of their audience. That's how much they get paid. It's a direct relationship. That's why Louis C.K. was so brilliant when he started filming, recording, distributing his own comedy specials. Like, he was the first one to do that. And when he did that, I was like, man, why are all these comics doing it? I would suggest it to every comic I met. Like, why aren't you guys doing this? Like, why are you bringing in a middleman? Why are you letting capitalism intervene in such a pure art form where you could just do it yourself? Not with certain things. I mean, to a certain extent, you still got to hire people, all that. But, you know, there's a way to work this out, like a co-op. Or form an alliance like other comics, which ironically enough, I don't know if it's irony, but Bill Burr did that. His comedy network of podcasts. I remember listening to the podcast where he's like, we're starting our own comedy network. Why let these middlemen come in and have a horde of podcasts where they could just take a cut for no reason? I was like, finally, Bill gets it. Bill's a leftist. He's a dirty socialist like me. But Bill, I think, played it safe for so long, which I think he suffered for. Not financially, but suffered for as a human, because what he did on interviews was he was like, you know, making fun of both sides. And that's fine. I get it. There are woke people that are meme worthy, you know? There are the Hillary Clintonites that are not, I don't know if they're woke or left. They're not leftists, but they're the Democrats that are totally bashable, which I say bash the Republicans and Democrats. Why? Because none of them stand for you. They all live in a fucking bubble. But I thought comedy, or at least for me, comedy and George Carlin and the greats, which Bill is definitely one of the greats, biased aside that he's from Massachusetts, Canton's own, they should erect a statue of Bill Burr. It says, first guy to bring the Boston accent to the Star Wars galaxy. I was so proud of that moment when he made it to the Mandalorian. I said, finally, they have all these different languages in Star Wars, no Boston accent. What the heck? But Bill Burr, he did. He would make fun of both sides, but I don't think he was being true to himself. And I could be wrong. I don't know Bill. I only have a connection through a comic friend of Bill. I never got to meet him. He never came in when I worked in radio. That's the one comic. I met Louis C.K., Nick DiPaolo, what's his name? Who used to do Insomniac on Comedy Central. David Tell. I met all these great comics, right? Bill Burr is the one elusive one, which I really like to meet. Bill Burr, if you stroll along this video, please, my man, let's connect. I say that like I'm some equal of his. My Jesus. When New Englanders built. What's up, Curtis? Oh, Curtis, I was thinking of you earlier because in this story, actually, I was like, Curtis can attest. Oh, thank you. These are my new glasses. I got them at the secondhand store, $2.49. And on the way out, I dropped them and the frame broke out, or the lens broke out, and I put it back in, said, I'm still getting these. I needed new glasses, so thank you, appreciate that. But Curtis, I was thinking of you, and I'll get to that in a minute, because what we're going to talk about with Bill Burr, why I say he's a leftist, is because he's finally speaking his mind. And it doesn't take much to be a leftist. In fact, I think a lot of people have leftist views, like kids shouldn't go hungry in the wealthiest nation in the world. Healthcare is a human right. Housing is a human right. Water should not be owned by like Nestle, like Bill Burr said, you know. And then Bill Burr said they should hunt that CEO. Like, that's fucking leftist talk all day long. And I wish Bill would just be himself more. Bill, I'm imploring you to do more of this because you're the fucking people's hero, man. And how can you not be a working class comic hero? He's edging George Carlin's line of thought when Bill Burr exposes his true self and just really fucking uncensors himself and says the things like he said on Jimmy Kimmel the other night or last night. I don't know. I just read about it. I haven't watched it yet. I don't want to watch it because Bill Burr says stuff that I'm like, yeah, I've been saying that for a week. You know, like, that's not even funny to me anymore. I'm just like, yeah, this is like serious. People are dying, and it's good that other people as big as Bill Burr are saying the same thing I've been saying for a while. But Bill Burr on Jimmy Kimmel went off on the people who I just talked about. I think it was yesterday. But he just went off on the people spreading this misinformation about the LA fires. Like they're mismanaging. I was talking about the DEI and the woke agenda and the smog testing of the fire trucks coming down from Oregon and how that was a lie. If you missed it, a live stream yesterday, I included the Snopes link. There's a Snopes article. Like, we're wasting this much time that the internet's like correcting fucking Congress people from Texas because they're so dumb. But Bill Burr was on Jimmy Kimmel, and Bill Burr now out in LA and was like, we had to evacuate. Thankfully, the winds changed. And he talked about all this stuff, right? But then he went after the people, and I wish he didn't, I didn't hear it, so I should have watched it. It's hard for me to watch sometimes because I'm like, yeah, I know, Bill. I know. You know, while people are applauding, it's like, fuck, why can't more celebrities, comics, people be like this and just speak out and just use common sense? But Bill went after the people that were like, you know, in their underwear in their mom's basement on the internet, looking at pictures, being like, it's mismanaged. Where this is when I thought of you, Curtis, because I think you're still in East County, right? I lived in Southern California and San Diego for 10 years. And you know, at least from when I was living there, it was like January is a little odd. But you know, every October, those Santa Anas, and I'm pretty sure it was October, but every October, and correct me if I'm wrong, Curtis, hopefully you're still here. You're in Lakeside. Okay. But you know what I mean? Like, you know, and again, in October in Southern California, the Santa Ana winds come off that desert, and those are hot winds. It's weird. They are hot, hot air winds. And if there's as so much of a fucking fire farting, a spark out into the rogue wilderness, that place is it's a tinderbox, you know? So this isn't like, remember, man-made civilization in places that weren't supposed to be that survivable. You know, just look at Arizona. That was one of the things that scared me. Listen, there are a couple things that scared me about living in Southern California. Number one was earthquakes. Earthquakes absolutely horrified me. Thinking the ground could open up and I could just die that way, I was like, not in my life. I'll get eaten by a shark, I'll die in a blizzard, but no way am I getting swallowed by the earth. I draw a line somewhere. September, October is the hot, dry winds. It's dry fire waiting to happen. Yeah, it's correct. Okay, so yeah. I always remembered October, but yeah, September, October, you know, if you're in Southern California, the Santa Ana winds, just Google it. They come in, and San Diego's not known for the rain, people. You know what I mean? It ain't Seattle. They're not like, rainy San Diego. That's not what it's known for. You know, it's known for being 70 degrees all year long. It's infamously like I had a crushed stone front yard. You know what I mean? Like, if you have grass in San Diego, you're doing something wrong. And people do, but you know, you shouldn't. But again, like, these are places that do not necessarily have readily access to water. This winter has been so dry so far. Listen, Curtis, I can relate because here in Salem, Massachusetts, we got one rain, I think, and it was a drizzle all summer. And then I've never in my life witnessed a forest fire in Massachusetts, and it came to our backyards. I think I took some shorts of the remnants of the fire. Like, I can walk to it every day. It's insane. It burnt everything. We had helicopters flying right over our house, dropping water. And that's in New England. I mean, something's wrong, people. But we're not going to get into that talk. But Bill Burr, back to Bill Burr being a leftist. And it's just natural, you know? Leftists just want decency, don't want to kill the planet at the cost of what? So we can all drive Corvettes and fucking, like, Ford F-150s. You know what I mean? Like, buy a Lightning, folks, if you're that attached to a truck. Get a Ford Lightning. I think those are the new electric. When I was in high school, the Lightning was the fast one. I wanted a Lightning so bad. They look so cool. Now I think they're the electric one. But Bill Burr being a leftist because he went on Jimmy Kimmel and just went after these trolls who were spreading misinformation about the forest being mismanaged and all this stuff, or why didn't they just fly helicopters over and he said, and get water and dump it. And he was like, the wind was 100 knots. You want to fly a helicopter into the ocean at 100 against that wind at night? He was like, get the fuck out of here. And Bill Burr flies a helicopter. He taught himself how to fly a helicopter. I am a Bill Burr fan. I used to listen almost religiously every Monday and whatever it was, Monday, Tuesday. And then he started doing the Thursday morning after Friday. He started doing more and more podcasts. I listened when it was just a Monday morning podcast. But because I loved what he said, but I always felt like, he kept his political beliefs, which everything's political. That's what laws are. That's a civilization we live in. So when people say don't talk politics, they're saying stay out of it so I can enforce my politics on you. Because the more you stay out of it, the more leverage they have. I'm worried about fire season, man. I got dry hills all around me. Yeah, man, I'll pray for you because, Curtis, that's scary, And that's the thing. It's like this, you can't manage nature to this extent, Like you can't be like, oh, San Diego just needs more rain. It's like, shit. That's what it's known for. Like you can manage the terrain, you can manage certain aspects of it, but you really can't manage like, oh, the desert doesn't have enough water. Like you can't do that. Okay. And people, and the reason I say Bill Burr is a leftist is because it's all these right-wing Elon Musk. His whole platform is filled with misinformation and flat out lies. Elon Musk is a liar. And he keeps promoting his own stuff. And even if you're not following him, you have to see his stuff in his feed. And everything he promotes is about woke DEI, mismanagement, who's in charge, who's running this. And it's like, it lacks any common sense, but it's all politically driven. It's all used to weaponize against the blue state in California. And it's all meant to trick other people, which the saddest part to me is like the people, like I was saying yesterday, if you live in Tornado Alley, if you live in a bayou, if you live in a hurricane area, if you live in a natural disaster zone, like I want you to think about this. If this comes around and he started directing his Twitter algorithm at you and your people when you were evacuating, and he started weaponizing it and saying, it's your governor, it's your this, it's your that, and not just being like, what are we doing that is not. Well, in certain cases, like the fire, it's like fires come every year to California. That's why, like, the point is moot. Fires happen every year. You know that if you live there. And if you don't, just Google it. Like, you gotta be a little more educated than fucking my education is what Elon Musk says. What Donald Trump says, what my Republican senator, congressperson says. You gotta be more educated than that. Like, you have to be. This is also why they want to defund schools, because they're like, just trust me. Just listen, I'll be your life teacher. And I was like, oh, really? Really? Because you're educated? When I watch these Republican Congress people go on Fox News talking about testing smog emissions on fire trucks before they're allowed to fight the fires, which was just a flat out lie. It's like, man, if you're that dumb, you're either really evil to perpetuate that on a national news show, or you're so stupid no one should trust you with anything. It's one or the other. Simple. And either way, I don't listen to morons. So Bill Burr going after these people, and the great part is the one thing I might fast forward Bill Burr's interview with Jimmy Kimmel, where you can watch all this too. You just got to find it on YouTube. Kimmel's good about uploading. That's funny to say. But Bill Burr at the end, I guess he got a round of applause for just calling out this misinformation, these trolls, these mismanagement people. I wish he directed it more at like the people with power, the people in Congress who were doing this, Elon Musk. I wish he would aim it there. He's still not doing that, even though I guarantee you Bill Burr in private conversations is fucking calling out Elon Musk and all that. But they gave him a round of applause, and Bill Burr, I guess, said, yeah, free Luigi, which is amazing. And it just goes to show that, like, if Bill Burr, whether or not he wants to recognize he's a leftist, he's a leftist. Because Bill Burr has been talking about hunting CEOs, talking about how Nestle should be criminally charged because they're hoarding the locals' water. Nestle, I think, came into Maine and stole. They bought out Poland Springs, which was a regional spring water company, and then they stole all the people's water from Maine. People who had lived there for probably since the Ice Age. We're talking about Maine here. They probably lived there forever. Who knows? That might have been the first civilization in Maine. Those people so old. But they owned the rights to their water, and Nestle came in and stole it literally from out from under them. Curtis, we literally have a fire season like Florida has hurricane season. Amen, Curtis. And that's what I've been trying to preach. But these people in wherever, Oklahoma, Idaho, I don't know where they are, Texas, they might not understand that. And if so, okay. But if you're an adult and like you don't at least try to educate yourself, then that's on you. But yes, and I guess because I lived in California, I understand. I knew that, you know, like this isn't like just out of nowhere. Like there's a fire season. Just like I say, corporations now have a layoff season. It's right around Christmas time. They used to give out holiday bonuses to reward employees. Now it's holiday layoffs, and they fight them for the severance. But yes, Curtis is still out in SoCal, and he's vouching for me. So people that see this later, not just Nestle, bro, Arrowhead, Dasani. Yeah, I won't even buy Dasani. Ugh. All of these companies. But Bill Burr being a leftist, and it's basically because he just has the decency and common sense to call this stuff out when it needs to be, you know? And it's amazing when you think about what the other side of that, the people who are perpetuating these lies, these proven lies, like Elon Musk, like that representative from Texas, who is repeating a lie, an easily proven lie. I mean, easily disproved. Oh my God, there's a huge hawk in that tree. Oh my God. Oh my God, it's so beautiful. Oh my God. Why would you want to go to Mars? Like, you have so much money, you want to go to Mars. Have you ever seen a hawk up close? Never want to leave this planet. There's so much stuff I haven't seen. This beautiful hawk. I love a hawk's colors are the autumn of the animal world. They're absolutely gorgeous. The autumn, the first autumn snowfall. That's what like a hawk's coloring reminds me of, because they have that white tummy. I wonder if you could flip a hawk on his back and rub his tummy like I do the cats. I bet you could. You just gotta trust you. I'd like to see Elon Musk around a dog. I bet a dog would sense him and be like, You never see Elon Musk, Donald Trump, or Jeff Bezos around animals. That's a telltale sign. That's a telltale sign. So Bill Burr, congrats. Welcome to the dirty socialist, communist, leftist club, because you think CEOs are scumbags, especially the healthcare ones, and because you want to fight the lies, the easily disproven lies that Congress people, like, when did it become acceptable just because it's a confirmation bias for some people to like want to hear, oh, it's the woke agenda that's making these fires, you know? The equivalent of like, God's mad at them. Like, yeah, that confirms my fears about the blue state of California trying to take over those coastal elites. Like, when did it be acceptable as a society for us to be like, oh yeah, the congressman went on TV, didn't fact check nothing. He's a congressman too. Like, he has AIDS. Like, he could be like, hey, did these fire trucks really get smog tested in Sacramento first? Look that up. About to go on TV. I don't want to embarrass myself. And they would come back and be like, no, that's not true. And he could have avoided it. No, he did it to advance whatever propaganda he's trying to pitch. But more importantly, when did it become acceptable for us as the people that are, these people, remember, these people are allegedly supposed to represent us. I know you don't hear this word often, but it's called public service. It's in service of the public. We give them votes so they can go and represent our interests. And this is, unless, Texas, are you filled with liars? You know, and trust me, I got liars in my state too. Seth Moulton, District 5 or whatever in Massachusetts, North Shore, you're a liar, you're a scumbag. I've never seen you. I've written you, you don't write me back, and then you write me some congratulations, thank you, I'm gonna represent you next year. I didn't vote for you. You don't represent me. You did not get my vote. And if I had it my way, you'd be removed from Congress in a heartbeat for taking all that corporate dirty, dark money. You don't represent Massachusetts. You're a punk. Come and be with the people. Be like Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders playing hoops with the people up in Vermont. CJ, what's up? Why wouldn't normal people want to save this special planet? The right loves this stuff. Yup. Well, that's what I don't understand. Is that, you know, they got an interest, especially, I want to say, you know, the Elon Musks, they have the interest to implement their own agenda. But why people buy it up, especially when it goes against common sense a lot of the time, and why people are so accepting, I guess it comes down to the team sports aspect of politics, the red versus blue, which I hate. Don't be red versus blue. Don't be either, okay? Be fucking purple or something. Green, yellow, I don't give a shit. Transparent, translucent, be metallic blue. I don't care. Just don't be red versus blue. Why? Because when you just want your team to win, you ignore so much. And there's a responsibility that we have as citizens that if a Republican from Texas went on Fox News, Jon Stewart played the clip, repeating a disproven lie, is that how I would say? A lie that was proven to be untrue. He was lying. And people aren't up in arms, like, bro, you can't just go out there and lie like that. Like, you gotta have some kind of, unless they're like, yes, that's the lie I want to back up, you know? It's so disheartening. And Republicans won. Why is this so sour? Because these kind of people, it doesn't matter. Like, CJ, that's an easy one to answer, and thank you for asking it. Look at Elon Musk. I just want to interview Elon Musk and say, what's it like to not have to want for anything? If you're hot, you never have to worry about AC. If you're cold, you don't have to worry about how much it's going to cost to heat your home. Like, what's that like? And what's that like to live your whole life like that? Like, to never have to worry, to just make up the rules as you go, to do, like, what is it like? Because I want to hear what his genuine answer is. He can't say awesome, because if it's awesome, why is he fucking on Twitter complaining about something all the time? Have you ever met somebody? When I lived in San Diego, there were people who were working jobs in the radio station that were not like as cool. Mine, I get to talk on the air every day. So I was like, I had the coolest job ever. This is the fucking greatest job in the world, working in radio. And these people were like building sets and helping it, like doing the hard work that it took to make the things we were doing possible. And I would talk to this one dude, Nick. I'd be like, how you doing, man? He'd be like, living the dream. And he meant it. And that dude never complained. He was always like, you would think he was always on his way to go surf. You know, because when I used to surf, like that, you were just like, I'm going surfing. This is the greatest feeling in the world. So if you know people that are like truly happy, that answer you when you go, how you doing? And they say, live in the dream. You might have one of those people in your, those people that mean it and like live by that, like they're not on Twitter complaining about woke agenda all day. So what Republicans won, why are they so sour? It's because it's who they are. It's not about winning to them, because win, lose, cheat, steal, manipulate, exploit, oppress, it doesn't matter. They are unsettled humans. They cannot, like, think about if you had as much money as Elon Musk. Like, you have all the money in the world, right? Would you spend all day on Twitter? Yo, I'm not even all day on Twitter, and I don't even have money. Like, if I had that much money, I would be fucking, like, trying to pet a cheetah. Or like I was talking about, the hawk left the thing. I'd be trying to, you know, save the hawks. I would try to, I don't even know. I would be doing so many amazing things, and I would be like, this life is so beautiful, this earth is so magical, we need to save it. I would be, you know what I mean? It's like there's a million other things to do than be like, there's people evacuated from fires, and it's because there's a woke agenda. Like, think about what kind of scumbag human being you have to be. You know, you have to be such a sour individual as it is. So that's why, CJ. Now, I want to mention Dave Grohl, and Dave Grohl fans, I'm one of you. Okay, Nirvana is my favorite band. Dave Grohl's album saved me. When my dad left this planet, he had just released the double album, In Your Honor, and still to this day, it is hard to listen to that, but that album saved me. Bad Wieners, Bad Losers, yeah. By the way, if you ever get this drink, this is my favorite drink on earth. I love apple cider vinegar. Here's another one with an old lady on the bottle, and it's a glass bottle. I gotta go finish some chores, whatever they're called, errands. But I just felt like this is important because Bill Burr, thank you for speaking out. And on that note, Bill Burr speaking out, Dave Grohl, by all means, probably a decent human, okay? He's no Kurt, he's no Krist. But Dave Grohl, there was again, I linked it down below. There was a report that Dave Grohl's birthday, he turned 56 on January 14th, and he spent the day feeding evacuated victims from the wildfires, which is amazing. Okay, I got to preface this stuff because I do think that's awesome. You know, he could have done something else like a million other people do, but I just want to hold Dave to a higher standard. I want to hold him to the standard that I think he's at, because I think Dave is a cool guy. I think Dave gets it. But I think, like Bill Burr, he tries to tread lightly and sit on the fence. And if you're sitting on the fence, you must have nothing in your nether regions, because you're sitting on the fence. Got to be rough on the old Grundle. Wasn't that Beowulf and Grundle? And Dave Grohl has fed the homeless and the hungry and all that stuff. So that's awesome. Thank you, Dave, for doing that. I'm sure they really appreciated it. And it's good that people are helping at these times. But the thing is anybody can do that. Okay? I'd be getting a zoology degree and opening a rescue. Amen. Amen to that. And that's what I want. I want people to do what they love. Imagine more people do what they love, how rad this earth would be. I would hope you would do all the art on all the walls at your rescue, because that would be cool. Curtis is a very good artist. If you haven't joined our Discord, I'll link in the description. Curtis, you should do some artwork for the channel if you want. Up to you. I love crows and orcas and wolves. Those are my 3 favorite. That's what I would rescue. It'd be a weird place, but I would rescue them. I would just try to break them out. If I had Elon Musk money, I would be by the cover of night, renting a helicopter to drop down and pull the orca out and bring it to somewhere better. I know you can't re-release them because they're already kind of screwed. They're what do they call it when you've been in prison too long? I forget the name. Love Dave Grohl's work with the West Baptist. Listen, Dave Grohl does. That's why I say he's a good dude. He's a good dude. But I just want to ask him to step it up. Step it up to Dave Grohl level. And my point is like, Dave, I donate. I don't have much money, and I donate to, different causes. I don't want to get into that, but I don't have much money, and I can help feed the hungry and homeless. And people can do that. Not everybody, and just hear me out again, because I upset Dave Grohl fans, and I go, I am one of you, but we need to hold these people to higher. We need to hold them to the Dave Grohl standard. Not everybody's Dave Grohl. Not everybody has access like he has, and it's great that he's on the ground, feet on the ground, meeting, greeting, feeding, helping. That's amazing. But Dave, like, people can do that. In fact, there's many organizations that do that. Those organizations don't go on world tours and don't have a microphone that fucking says Dave Grohl. And when it cracks, people listen. And I've heard Dave, and the reason it bugs me is because I've heard Dave Grohl say, Dave Grohl has said, like, when you come to my shows, we're not Republicans, Democrats, we're all just wanting to sing music. And that to me is like bullshit, man. Because Kurt, infamously, it's on YouTube. Kurt saw a girl getting harassed and was like, get that dude out of here. So not everybody is there to kumbaya and be a hippie, Dave, and you should know this. But more importantly, like, if they're going to like your music either way. There are Republicans quoting Rage Against the Machine being like, I don't know when they got political. Like, these people are fucking dumb, okay? Dave, you make great music. Don't question your work because you're questioning yourself as a human. Your work is going to stand for itself. And really, Dave has this amazing platform. Like when COVID hit and he made that video about respecting teachers, because my mom is a teacher, and I was like, oh, that's good. So it hits home. So like, you'll speak out when it hits home. Like, come on, Dave, take it to the next level. Like, if Dave used his platform to be like, this is crazy, man. These people are lying. They're talking about this mismanagement. I'm not saying do what Bill Burr did on Jimmy Kimmel, because Bill Burr, you don't know, we just talked about it, called all the lying, misinformation, mismanagement out. He made fun of it in Bill Burr style, and at the end he said, free Luigi, which is amazing. Bill Burr's a leftist. But if Dave Grohl just actively got involved, and I say this because as much as the right and these alt-right figures are like, woke Hollywood, da-da-da. It's like, how much do you see woke Hollywood speaking out against you guys? You know, Elon Musk, the richest man in the world, is constantly funding a misinformation torrent of lies on a website he bought to destroy, which it is destroyed. I'm hardly on Twitter anymore. It sucks so bad. And it's all just like Nazi stuff, racism, and lies. You know, it's like the Wikipedia for bullshit, lie, conspiracy, easily proven wrong stuff. Dave Grohl and Elmo are both trying to repopulate Earth with their own children. But I'm trying to do an orca. I'll share it when I feel good. Oh, that would be awesome. Yeah. Orcas are hard, man. That shape is the art of an orca is, it makes you really have a new appreciation for the simplicity of black and white. It truly is. And forever, when I was younger, I'll tell you this, when I was younger, that big white splotch, I thought that was their eye. I didn't know they had a little eye. I was real young. I was like 24. Just fucking with you. But when I was little, you know, like 18. Anyways, so Dave, now that I have your attention, thank you for watching the live stream. Hit subscribe and the notification bell. Dave, just speak up. It doesn't have to happen to you. Your parent doesn't have to be a teacher for you to speak out against, speak out for teachers. And Dave has a special, that's the thing. It's like, I'm so glad he's feeding people, he's helping in these ways. But it's like, Dave, realistically, most people can do that kind of stuff. Not everybody has the access to the soapbox you have, which is your stage, which you travel around the world. And there are people actively trying to make sure things get worse, not for you because you're a billionaire or millionaire or whatever, but for everybody that wants to buy tickets and listen to your music. They're actively trying to make it worse for us. Like Ticketmaster. Like, if Kurt was alive, he would be bashing Ticketmaster. Kurt Cobain went on Rolling Stone with a t-shirt that he made that says corporate magazines still suck. Like, Dave, you stood next to that and you're not like constantly being like, Ticketmaster should be dismantled. Pearl Jam went to Congress to talk about it. Dave, don't make me like Pearl Jam more than you. Don't. No one can compare to Kurt. Kurt was an angel. Do what only you can do, Dave. Exactly. That's what I mean. It's like nobody has a platform like Dave. And just think about it. If he started making shorts, being like, Elon Musk keeps popping off, but let's be real. I live here. I do, whatever he sounds like. It would just be incredible. And it's like, what does it cost you, Dave? What do you think? Your stadiums are going to be empty when you go on tour because people are like, Dave's woke. It's like, bro, give me a break, man. And the reason I say give me a break is because look at Roseanne Barr. She's doing fine. She got kicked off the TV show named after her, went on a complete 180 turn and did a horrible stand-up special, which still was played on like HBO or something. Still got paid for it. That bitch ain't even funny anymore. She literally, her whole stand-up is like whining, which I know that was kind of like her thing, but I mean, like now it's like nonsensical, made-up whining. Oh, hopefully this heals me. Get it if you can. So yeah, Curtis, you get it. I just wish Dave would, like Bill Burr's doing it. Bill Burr's fulfilling. I said this years ago. I hated that Bill Burr went on interviews and said, I make fun of the left and the right. It's like, yeah, you can do that. But also like, be yourself. Interweave the politics that we're all unfortunately forced to face every single day. It's why you wear a seatbelt. It's why you drive a certain speed. It's why you fucking have a sticker on your car. You know what I mean? It's like we're forced to deal with politics every single day. At least George Carlin it up and call it out. If you're good enough I'm not even good enough at my art. Look at me. Can't even crack 2,000 subs. I can't get my watch hours up. Please hit subscribe and the notification bell. But I'm calling it out all the time. And I'm doing it. I'm predecessing these motherfuckers. And then Bill Burr's doing it. I'm like, finally, Bill Burr's catching up. Have me on the podcast. I'll give you the rundown of how shit works, Bill. And then you can make it funny or say it with a Boston accent or whatever you want to do so you get back into Mandalorian season 5 or whatever. It's like, I love Bill. I love Dave. I think these are good people, but I hate when people live in a bubble and just want to sit on the fence, which you must have nothing in your nether regions if you're sitting on a fence. So people buy more tickets to their shows. It's like, at what point are you worried that the heat's going to shut off? Are you worried you're not going to be able to feed yourself? Like, just do something. And my point, I said this about Dave a while ago when he was feeding the homeless for his birthday, I think last year. You can go back to the live stream. I said, Dave, that's great that you're feeding the homeless, but don't you think the homeless people, instead of being like, wow, Dave Grohl's giving me one meal that is going to last for 10 minutes and then I just have to go back to the disaster that I can't figure out like what to do next because poverty is a trap. Like, don't you think it would be awesome if Dave was like, hey man, I'm going to write a fucking subversive song about this, or on tour, I'm going to really push for, not criminalizing people being homeless, or just anything, Dave. Like Dave, no, like, that's amazing that you're feeding them, but nobody can turn around and be like, I'm going on a world tour after. Like, you're unique to that. And Dave, the fact that you're not doing it, but you're acknowledging the problem, makes me fucking question if you have good people around you. Because if I was around Bill or Dave, I'd be like, good, glad you did that. Because you know what? You can go and fucking help as many people as you want as evacuate, but not all those people get to go on Jimmy Kimmel after and go, this is horseshit that people are calling it mismanaged and da-da-da, and not do it as funny or as melodic as you, Dave. Funny as Bill and melodic as Burr. So I just, I don't criticize out of hate. You'll know when I do. Like that Republican dude who went on Fox to... and the fact that Fox is just like, it's just the Wild West. Like, there's no responsibility to the viewers anymore. There never was. But at this point, like, the fact that they're deceiving it as news while clearly just being like fucking, it might as well be satire, is just astonishing, and somebody has to hold this shit to account. I guess I'm the one. I guess I'm going to have to pull the dad card and say, Bill, Dave, I need to talk to you guys, Not everybody can turn around and go and do what you can do. So why don't you try to help people in a way that Dave Grohl can help people? That's great. You're going to feed them. But after, why don't you speak out? Why don't you lobby for this? Why don't you, try to fix the problem instead of Band-Aid it? It just really bugs me. And I'm glad Bill Burr is finally coming to his leftist senses. Because if you think about it, the reason they call it woke Hollywood is to try to, scare Hollywood. Our government will soon be run by Fox, not news. Yep. Our government's already run by morons. Elon Musk has got to be one of the stupidest people. I think 3 days ago I did a live and I put a Substack article, which you can read all about Elon Musk scamming his way and buying his way into more things. And that's all he's done. And it's like, at what point? Like, what do you need? Do you just need everyone to work for you for free? Will that make you happy? I don't know. Well, Mars, you don't even want to go to Mars. You just want to colonize it. So it's like, can we just do a moon landing, pretend that he landed on Mars and tell him hey, you got it. You're there, buddy. Will that make you happy? Nothing's going to, these people have an insatiable greed. They're not going to be hungry. And I'm asking the good guys, the Dave Grohls, the Bill Burrs, to keep speaking out. Because I can speak out all day, every day, but I'm not Hassan Piker. I don't have a large audience. I'm trying to get there. Hit subscribe and notification bell. But we need some of the good ones to speak out. If you like Earth, if you like seeing a hawk land in a tree near you, I love that shit. And I feel bad for the kids, the younger generations, Like, they never see a rhino in the wild. I never did, but I seen one at a zoo once. And those things are majestic. That's probably where they got the myth of the unicorn. They were like, yo, I seen this fucking horse thing with a big friggin' horn on its nose. And they were like, unicorn. They were like, I don't think it was, didn't have any hair or anything. But they were like, nope, unicorn. That's it. This is Earth, man. We got to take care of it. I got to go get firewood. I'm glad CJ and Curtis were here. I gotta say that. I really am. Probably more than half. Yeah. And the only way to resist it. Remember, all these constitutionalists and First Amendmentists and all these people, they don't want you to understand what it really has the meaning really behind this stuff, or like what Lincoln said, that, you know, like if you find that your government, or for a redress of grievances, I forget where that is in the Constitution, just look up redress of grievances. I mean, the whole reason that they wrote that the way they wrote it, kind of fucking loose, and like, hey, do you think they'll think we're smart 100 years from now, 300 years from now? And they, you know, did it in cursive, was, you know, to also include the subtle undertones of like, yo, if this shit ain't working for you, do what we did. Have an American Revolution. And it ain't working for us, folks. Find Dixon White on YouTube. He knows what's up. Ooh, good. I haven't seen that name. I will look it up. I've been watching a ton of Hassan. Hassan yesterday had a live interview with Bernie Sanders, which was amazing. And I think about, you know, the one thing that struck me the most about that interview is like Bernie Sanders goes back to Vermont and plays basketball with kids, and he gives them free basketball in hopes that they'll get outside, get off their phones. And Bernie Sanders really, like, he's what politicians should be. Like, these people should be back in the communities. I think about all these politicians, how like you don't really hear or see them doing stuff in their communities. Like Donald Trump he has a private country club. You know what I mean? Like, this dude don't even live in a community. Elon Musk, that dude, you think that motherfucker's ever been to the grocery store? You know? Like, as much as he wants to pretend like, oh, I had it hard coming, I was like, get out of here, man. You don't even know what's going on. And you forget that these people that are trying to tell you what to believe live in such a hyper bubble that like, that is one of the reasons why I was like, oh, maybe that Republican senator who was believing the lies about the smog testing for the Oregon fire trucks coming to California, maybe he's so wealthy from his dirty money from corporations that he believes the lies because he lives in such a bubble, because he's so disconnected. And that's the only conclusion I can get from aside from these people just being evil, you know? Because you can't say you love America and then want to see Americans suffer. Those don't coexist. You know, you can't be like, I love America, but only this part. Then you don't. Just say you like that fucking one thing and be on with it, man. Revolution 2. Electric Blue. Yeah, it's so funny you say that. I was just watching this dude dance. And I don't know if you ever seen the graffiti movie Wild Style. It was one of my favorites when I was in high school. I did a whole term paper on graffiti. And Wild Style, it's just a reminiscent of the 70s, 80s New York. And watch Wild Style if you've never seen it. It's a graffiti movie, and it's funny. It's funny. All right, I gotta go. I gotta go get firewood. But CJ, Curtis, I love you guys. Thank you so much for being in here. Curtis, keep drawing. I look forward to your animal rescue one day. We'll be there. CJ, I hope you and the family are doing well. Send my love to the Pacific Northwest. I gotta make it out there one day before Elon Musk tries to destroy the planet. I want to see that. I want to see the great American rainforest, man. And that's the natural habitat of orca whales, wolves, and ravens. That's my heaven. I got to make it out there. All right, guys. I hope you have an amazing, amazing day. I'm finally starting to feel better. And please, if you're finding this a little bit later, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. My sub count's been going down, and I get it. I'm not for everybody. Much love, respect, peace.